I always thought driving at night held a certain allure, a tranquil solitude wrapped in the darkness, the road a ribbon cutting through the sleeping world. But that was before the night I met the highway specter. It was a stormy evening, rain lashing against my windshield like frenzied whispers. I was on a desolate stretch of highway, the kind of road that seems to stretch on forever, flanked by endless fields on either side. The radio crackled with static, the only companion to my thoughts. My headlights pierced through the downpour, creating a tunnel of visibility in the inky blackness. But with each passing mile, a sensation of unease crept over me, a feeling that I was being watched. Then, I saw her, a figure standing on the shoulder of the road, her silhouette barely visible through the rain. My instincts screamed at me to keep driving, to ignore the hitchhiker in the storm, but something compelled me to stop. She approached my car, her face obscured by the hood of her drenched cloak. I rolled down the window, the rain splattering against the glass. "Need a ride?" I called out, my voice lost in the storm. She nodded wordlessly and climbed into the passenger's seat, leaving a trail of water in her wake. As she settled in beside me, a chill swept through the car, chilling me to the bone. "Where are you headed?" I asked, trying to break the silence that hung heavy between us. "Anywhere but here," she replied, her voice barely a whisper. I nodded, focusing on the road ahead as the storm raged on. But the feeling of being watched persisted, intensifying with each passing mile. It was as if unseen eyes followed our every move, lurking in the shadows just beyond the reach of my headlights. I tried to shake off the feeling, chalking it up to the storm playing tricks on my mind. But then, I saw it, a flicker of movement in the darkness, a shape darting across the road with unnatural speed. I slammed on the brakes, the car skidding to a halt as my heart raced in my chest. I peered into the night, but there was nothing there, just the empty expanse of the highway stretching into infinity. "Did you see that?" I asked, turning to the woman beside me. But she was gone. Panic surged through me as I frantically scanned the car, but there was no sign of her, no trace that she had ever been there at all. I was alone, stranded on a deserted highway in the dead of night. I reached for my phone, but there was no signal, just the endless void of darkness outside my window. I was utterly alone, at the mercy of whatever lurked in the shadows. With trembling hands, I turned the key in the ignition and pressed down on the gas pedal, desperate to escape the oppressive stillness of the night. But the car remained motionless, as if held in place by an unseen force. And then, I heard it, a faint whispering, like the rustle of leaves in the wind. It grew louder with each passing moment, filling the car with a cacophony of voices, each one more chilling than the last. I covered my ears, trying to block out the sound, but it was useless. The voices seeped into my very soul, twisting and contorting my thoughts until I could no longer distinguish reality from madness. And then, she appeared, a specter in the storm, her cloak billowing in the wind as she glided towards me with unearthly grace. Her eyes bore into mine, dark pits of emptiness that seemed to consume the very essence of my being. I tried to scream, but no sound escaped my lips as she reached out with spectral fingers, her touch like ice against my skin. And then, everything went black. When I awoke, the storm had passed, leaving behind a world shrouded in mist and uncertainty. I stumbled out of the car, my limbs heavy with exhaustion as I surveyed my surroundings. But there was no sign of the highway specter, no trace that she had ever been there at all. I was alone once more, left to wonder if what I had experienced was merely a trick of the mind or something far more sinister. As I drove away, the memory of that fateful night lingered like a shadow, a reminder that some roads are best left untraveled. Cling tightly to the last vestiges of courage as we bid farewell from the eerie realm of Midnight Whispers Network. Remember, the darkness may fade for now, but its whispers linger on, waiting to be heard once more. Until next time, may your dreams be free from the terrors that lurk in the night. Farewell, brave souls, until we meet again in the shadows.